Hello, this is Jane. This video today is about why Conor lost the fight against Mayweather, and he did lose the fight, and it was really down to him. Uh, he had a very good opportunity to win the fight, and I will tell you why I think he lost the fight. Regardless of what you think, obviously Mayweather was the favorite in this fight, obviously because he's a champion. Or he's a former champion and he's been a boxer all his life and 49-0 and all that stuff. But let's say this, Conor should probably be upset with himself because he could have won the fight last night. And I want to talk a little bit before I tell you why he lost the fight, because a lot of people think this was a familiar or friends bout so they both can make a lot of money. I don't really think that's in Conor's DNA, and if Conor thought he could win the fight, his star would be 10,000 times bigger than it would be just going to 10 rounds with Mayweather. And where he came from, and clearly where even Mayweather came from, I don't think that's in their DNA to quote-unquote do it this way. I'm not saying that the Pacquiao fight wasn't like that, but I think this fight wasn't. So, why did he lose the fight? And most people are going to say that Mayweather won and all that stuff. They're not going to say that Conor really should have won that fight. Well, I think he could have, and I'll tell you why he lost the fight. The first part was his pre-camp. Clearly, I watched a lot of his camp that he showed. I didn't show him running enough, obviously he has a stamina issue. He's had that in MMA for a while. He should have known this. He should have been training not for a 12-round fight. He should have been going for at least 15 or 20 rounds so he could go for 33 minutes a round. And if he felt he couldn't do that in the 7 or 8 weeks to get there, he should have asked to change the fight time. Now, I understand that they were trying to be ahead of Triple G and Canelo. I understand that to a point. There's nothing really going on right now. No real sports going on, and I think it was a good time for them to have the fight. But he should know that that was the issue that he had, and unfortunately, he didn't really. Well, we don't know. If he had got his second win, he might have done something in the last 2 or 3 rounds, but we didn't get to see that because the ref somewhat stopped the fight a little early, in my explanation. Also, I get it, how loyal he is to his coaches, but he should have had more boxer sparring sessions. He should have got guys that are faster than Paulie Malignaggi. He should have done some of the other things like that, and maybe had 1 or 2 guys that are from boxing. And I'll tell you, during the fight, it hurt him, and we're going to get into that right now. So those are the small things that he probably could have done better in training, but especially the stamina part, when he also knew he had this issue before with Nate before. So then on the night of the fight, he's in his on his suit, and he's asked how much he weighs, and he says close to 170. And I thought right there that he lost the fight. And let me tell you why. Because when he's at 170, he tends to lose more stamina. It's too much muscles that he has to carry around. And even though he won the second fight against Diaz, he was running away from Diaz in that fight. And even though he won the last 2 rounds of that fight, he still was running away because he knew that he has that issue where he taught it after the fight. He said he's got something on his chest that he needs to get off, and he usually gets it off and he can come back, have that second win. But he should have came in at 170. He should have came out close to 155 to use his speed to match up with Conor or with Mayweather. And we saw in the fight he was just as fast as Mayweather. He didn't use what really, even though he came in at 170, let's say, he didn't use that weight advantage to his liking. He wouldn't use that to. He almost respected Floyd too much that he didn't go in and. But what he saw, he had so much success just sitting there while Floyd was on the ropes, and he was just peppering him. And he said, well, I'll just keep doing this. He didn't really use his weight at all. And at the end of the fight, I mean, it looked like Floyd was actually the stronger man. Obviously, Floyd or Conor was gassed a little bit. It made it look that way. But I think if he came in at 155, it would have been a different type of fight. So let's see what else I have here. Like I said, he had too much respect for Floyd. Once he had him on the ropes, I'm not saying he should be throwing him around the ring, but he should have been all over him and stuff. But I guess he didn't feel like he wanted to lose his wad right there. And obviously that's what Floyd was trying to do. And the idea that people saying in the boxing community that, oh, he was just doing that. Floyd knew exactly what he had to do. He studies all this stuff. That's how he's 50-0. He knows that Conor has that area where he loses a little bit. And Floyd never came toward him until he saw that happening to him. Yeah. Also, in the first 2 or 3 rounds, he was using his MMA striking that he had. So he was changing his stance and all that stuff. But somewhere around the 4th round, either he was getting gassed a little bit, he almost became a boxer again, and that's when Floyd took over, because you can't beat the greatest defensive fighter of all time when you're being a boxer. And you could see that there's a little change there, and whether or not Conor got gassed and he couldn't keep changing his stances, it allowed Floyd to get back in the fight. And till about, by the time he got to the 8th round, I think it was, for me, I had it 3-3-1. I think it was. It was a good fight. I think that obviously Mayweather was in the ascendancy. But Conor, I think, won the 8th round. And the biggest issue that he lost the fight was in the 9th round. And this is where the boxing community let him down. And I'll get to the 9th round in a second. But before that, I don't really understand why Robert Byrd, in the beginning of the fight, was saying, looking at Conor, saying he shouldn't be doing this, he shouldn't be doing that. The disrespect that Conor had. Now, obviously, he said a lot of things before the fight, saying he would take his head off and do shit like that. But Conor has always been very respectful to the rules and all of the types of things he's done. And I'm just saying that didn't change anything, but what it did is put a bias in the referee's mind, and it showed itself late in the fight. So, also, and I'm going to link it down below, the referee, Robert Byrd, allowed Floyd to continually turn his back to Floyd, or to Conor. And it is a violation. It's a foul under WBC rules. And I'm not sure that what we were under there, but I'm assuming it was the WBC rules, because Floyd has been their boy for so long. And I'll put it down below what it was. And this is what it basically says. It's 25 under the fouls. Turning one's back or walking away or running away from the other fighter. Now, he didn't do that all the time, but he clearly turned his back many times, and that gets me to the 9th round. Beginning of the round, this was right after, looked like Conor got his 2nd win. In my mind, he'd won the 8th round. So in my card, it was 4 to Conor, 3 to Mayweather, and 1 was a draw, the 4th round. So clearly, I think that Conor thought this was his best chance. And also, I mean, it was around the 25-minute mark again. I don't know what that means, and I know that Skip Bayless talked about it when he was on Facebook. Conor actually gasped before that in the UFC. But anyway, but still, he had something there, and he started off that round, and he hit him with a good left. And at that point, he started going back to the corner, and then Conor hit him right with the right on the side, and just crumpled him. And he basically turned his back, and in my mind, he ran or walked back to the corner and kneeled over. And interesting, if you listen to different feeds, the World feed with mayne said it was a low blow, but the Showtime said he was hurt and it was not a low blow. And there was a time right there that Conor had a chance, and Mayweather knew that he was in trouble, and he turned his back again, basically claimed in feint that he was hit low, and then Byrd, because he's going to shave his guy, came in there, brought him back in, and you could tell that Conor was physically upset. And before they actually fought again, Conor hit Floyd with a little thing before the break. And of course, I mean, he's an Irish guy. He got upset because he knew that was his chance. And after that, you know, he had more chances. But after that, he basically, I don't know what he thought. I think he lost his tank right there. He had a chance right there, and in your mind it says, well, if I'm not going to have a chance and they're going to do this to me, it's all part of it. And eventually Floyd got in there and walked him down, and Bird stopped the fight. I don't have any issue with the stoppage. I think that Conor was never going to be actually knocked out by him. It was more of a foot fatigue thing. The idea that the boxing community was saying that he saved Conor's life is laughable. He got hurt by a lot more in some of the other fights he'd been in. I'll be honest, the only punch that Aldo showed landed against Conor was more than anything that Mayweather did. So in the end, and I think that a guy like Conor, just he did after the first Diaz fight, he realized what he did wrong. He's very honest. He said, I have this issue where my stamina fails me and I have to get through it, this little thing on my chest, and he said that he gave respect to Mayweather, which he does against every fight. The people that he clearly doesn't like, or he claims he doesn't like after the fight, he's always very respectful to him. I think he knows in the back of his mind that if he would have trained us a little differently, if he didn't respect Floyd so much, and if he was going to come in at 170, he should have used his weight a little bit better, that he could have won that fight. And that's basically what I have to say. I don't think there's going to be a rematch, and it looks like the next fight it's going to be between Nick Diaz and Conor at 155, and I think that that's Conor's best weight. I think that if he came in at 155, I think he had a good chance of winning the fight. Regardless of how Mayweather kept showing that he was smiling the entire fight, like he was never bothered, and how the boxing community kept saying he was never bothered. He was bothered. He was bothered in the 9th round. He was hurt. He was against the ropes. He fainted that he'd been hurt or got a low blow, and he asked for somebody from the WBC, a referee, to help him there. That whole thing, and Skip talked about it on his show. I don't even like Skip Bayless. I usually don't believe everything he says. I don't, because I don't like him, but he was right here. And there should be more people to talk about this. But that's all I have. If you like this, share it. Tell me what you think is wrong, and try to get back from because you like Mayweather because you're black, and I like Conor because he's white. Or let's just actually look at the fight. Conor still clearly won 4 rounds, and regardless of whether you think that Floyd was just letting him do it, it doesn't really matter. He won 4 rounds, had him in trouble in the 9th round. Things kind of changed that didn't go his way, and then we give the respect to Mayweather for knocking him out. That's it. You guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.